Oh, hi there. How are you welcoming Saturn in Aquarius? Saturn will make its move in Aquarius on 29th of April, and for 2.5 months till 12th of July, Saturn will be in the Aquarius zodiac sign, and Aquarius is the Moola Trikona zodiac sign of Saturn. And you can see Saturn is with Mars. So we have a lot to discuss for the Saturn transit in the sign of Aquarius. Let's begin that. Saturn is going to stay direct in Aquarius till 5th of June. Saturn will reach 1 degree 5 minutes in the Dhanishta Nakshatra. And Saturn will become retrograde and will come back to Capricorn on 12th of July. So it's a 10 weeks of Saturn transit, approximately. Out of this 10 week, you will see direct motion, you will see stationary Saturn, you will see retrograde Saturn. And Aquarius is a zodiac sign which is said to be the Moola Trikona zodiac sign of Saturn. Moola Trikona means the zodiac where the planet behaves in its most natural and raw form. The planet is like he is there and he will get all the resources to do what he is supposed to do. So when Saturn goes in Aquarius zodiac sign, it gives you a glimpse, because actually true Saturn transit in Aquarius will happen next year in January for 2.5 years. But now for 2.5 months, it's like a shorter version, a trailer of what's going to happen in the future. So how are you going to absorb this trailer will say much about the future that you are going into, irrespective of the Mahadasha or Antardasha. And if you are a water zodiac sign, if your moon is in Cancer, Scorpio or Pisces, even the ascendant, or if you are in Saturn Mahadasha, Saturn Antardasha, then this 2.5 months is going to be extremely important and crucial for you. You must listen to the call of Saturn, and the call of Saturn in Aquarius will be humanitarian. It will be to start to maintain discipline, to reform, to create changes in your lifestyle, and to be a better human being, becoming a global citizen, thinking about humanity from a Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam perspective. Saturn's Aquarius transit is going to be very crucial, especially for people who are in Mars Mahadasha, Mars Antardasha, who are Aries and Scorpio ascendant. Why? Because if you observe, Saturn being in the sign of Aquarius begins its journey with Mars in Aquarius. So there is a Saturn-Mars conjunction in Kumbha Rashi. Saturn is in Dhanishta Nakshatra, which is the nakshatra of Mars. The third aspect of Saturn falls on Aries, the zodiac sign of Mars. And the 10th aspect of Saturn falls in Scorpio, the zodiac sign of Mars. And Mars is all the aggression, all the enthusiasm, all the fire, all the passion. And Saturn comes and puts all under observation, creates heavy restrictions, and therefore Saturn tries to regulate the energy. This is not a restriction as a restriction of Capricorn. This is more about regulation. This is more about continuity. This is more about chain of command, which is essential for humanity. Your aggression might meet resistance. Your passion might see reality. And your enthusiasm might have to be parked because of an ongoing situation in life. Whatever happens, it's an experience worth learning. And it's an experience from where you can learn, and it's an experience that will give you the insight that you have never seen before. And when you see a Saturn transit, you don't see Saturn transit just by Saturn, because Saturn will come back again after 30 years here. The thing is that Jupiter is in Pisces, which is the resource of Shani. Saturn is determined this time because Jupiter is in Pisces zodiac sign. And do you know the nakshatra in which Jupiter is? Uttara Bhadrapada, a nakshatra of Shani. That means there is a very strong energy exchange between Guru and Shani, and therefore Saturn's true intention is to give you learning. Those who will learn, those who will be humble, those who will be grounded, and those who will follow the path of justice and law will see the positive side of Saturn, and those who will take the side of Rahu, not the positive Rahu but the negative Rahu, will face the negative impact of Saturn transit. The third house from Shani, which is called the action of Saturn, is controlled by Rahu. So definitely Saturn will take some unusual methods and tricks this time that you cannot judge. So do not test the Saturn this time. Don't test your luck this time. This time Saturn can beat everybody. This is a very different transit. And this 2.5 months is nothing but a preparation time. It's like a mock test, a mock interview for all of us. Those who will understand the significance of it will end up gaining from this transit, and otherwise you will face resistance. Let's understand for each ascendant what this transit has to offer. But I would like your support to spread this word of astrology among greater mass, greater people. So share this video among family and friends. Subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon to get notifications. Follow my Telegram channel where I upload all the links. I'm building a bigger community there also. Also follow me on Instagram for quick updates, reels and interesting stuff. Let's begin Saturn transit in Aquarius for these 2.5 months for your ascendant. Aries ascendant. Now for you, Saturn makes its move in the 11th house. And when Saturn moves in the 11th house, it flourishes, it expands that house, but within its own limitations. 11th house is the house of gains, and Saturn will definitely restrict your gain to one single platform, one single source, one single process. And this may create issues for people who are working in multiple sources of income, who have multiple sources of income. But if you are disciplined enough, if you manage your profits in a way that it is equally distributed, you will see that the area where you are fundamentally strong, you are working with full potential, will see good growth, whereas the areas where you are not working will see a decline. 11th house Saturn also means that you are supposed to get what you deserve. So maybe you have a lot of expectation, maybe you have aspirations and ambitions, but this Shani is going to give you what you really need in your life rather than what you expect from life. This is like a trailer for the next year Saturn transit. Next year on 17th of January, Saturn will make its move in Aquarius for one final time. But right now Saturn is only going to be in your 11th house till 12th of July. You must be very careful how you deal with your friends, whom you think are your associates, who are your well-wishers, because there will be some filtering done on that part of life. With respect to source of income, with respect to your career, this is a very good time because 10th Lord goes in 11th house. This will give you the results of your hard work. This will give you the fruits of your karma. One thing you have to give up, and that is lethargy, laziness. You must focus more on productivity and focus more on karma. But this Saturn transit may affect your ascendant, may affect your health. So be very careful how much you are trying to work, how much you are trying to give your all into your career, your marriage, your relationship, or anything that you are expecting from your life, from your actions, from your efforts. The third aspect of Saturn will fall on your first house. Rahu will be there in the sign of Aries, and that too in the Kritika Nakshatra, while Saturn from Dhanishta Nakshatra cast the aspect. And remember, this aspect of Saturn will be in the Ashwini Nakshatra. Now, because Saturn is aspecting the Ashwini Nakshatra, this will create an atmosphere in work where you will have to work really hard. There will be a loss of time. You won't be able to figure out how to manage your time. Time management is definitely going to be a process for Aries ascendant and especially Aries moon sign, where you must have the sense of night and day. You must sleep on time, you must wake up on time. If you maintain discipline, the Mula Trikona zodiac transit of Shani will give you a very powerful positive results, and it will also give you the results of a karma that you are doing from a very long time, and a result that was pending. You will also see that a lot of things will start moving. It becomes a transit where things are becoming more and more productive for you, and there will be few factors, few areas in your life that will create a lot of blockages. Why? Because in order to facilitate a motion in one direction, Saturn will stop you from looking in the other direction. So it can be a unidirectional transit, and you must understand this transit in a way that you cannot be all over the place. You will have to take one step at a time. You must follow a staircase growth approach. If you become greedy, if you become overambitious, then Saturn's third aspect will cut down those ambitions by making you focus on one area and will create problems in that area. Because only when there is pain is when the focus goes in that part. So don't let Saturn create a pain for you. Overall, this is a very good time, especially with respect to people who are looking for marriage, who are trying to resolve marriage-related issues, people who are looking for childbirth, who are trying to conceive from a very long time. Your karma, if done right, will fetch you positive results. Chant Shani mantra and you will see a very good growth in this time. Saturn's seventh aspect falls on the Leo zodiac sign, that is your fifth house, and therefore your expression will be reformed, your body language will change. Try to not get involved into negativity. Try to be as optimistic, as positive as possible. Always test yourself with little small examinations every now and then. Test your abilities and keep learning. Saturn's 10th aspect will fall on your 8th house, which also talks about more and more research, more and more focus towards in-depth matters of life. Root cause analysis will be a theme of Saturn transit in Aquarius for you. People working in share trading, people working in speculative business, real estate business, any business that is associated with Saturn, pipe, fittings, minerals, petrol, and many other areas will also see positive trend. Trading and commerce will see a good boost provided you have a good Mercury in your chart and you are doing things in the right manner. Unlawful activities will meet a great restriction by Shani, because remember your 12th house is under Papakartari. On one side you have Rahu, on the other side you have Saturn. So there can be legal matters that can be really, really bad for you. Keep your paper strong, be disciplined, work under law, focus on dharma, the right path, keep donating, and you will see that not only you will enjoy good health, but you will also get good wealth. Just prove that you deserve that. Taurus ascendant. In your case, Saturn will make its move in your 10th house. Saturn will not cross 1 degree, and Saturn will be getting retrograde on 5th of June. So any matters related to career should be done after 12th of July. Well, this is a transit where you may get more opportunities, you may get chance of taking a decision on your career, whether you want to shift your company, whether you want to add a product in your business, whether you want to grow your business overseas, expand your territory, or you want to seek a promotion, or you deserve a promotion. You will see the trailer of the Saturn transit in 2023 this year. 10th house Mula Trikona transit of Shani is extremely significant for Taurus ascendant and Taurus moon sign. If you are Taurus ascendant or Taurus moon sign, definitely this transit means more than any other transit for you, because Shani is the planet of karma. In the karma sthan, 10th house, when Saturn finds its Mula Trikona. Now what is Mula Trikona? It means a planet will behave what he is supposed to do. Here Shani will be in its most benevolent form. Shani will be the karma phaladata. That means he is going to give you the results of your karma. So expect things to move in positive direction between May and July and next year. Saturn will be in Libra Navamsha. Now Libra Navamsha means both your natural lagna, natural moon sign, and the Navamsha lagna is controlled by Venus. So keep a track on Venus transit, because as the Venus will move, it will define the flavor of Saturn's effect. Saturn from the 10th house is going to aspect your 4th and 7th house, therefore making you push for your life, hustle, do some karma. So it is going to give you new career opportunities, new opportunities to grow in life and do something big. This is the time to make a mark for yourself. This is the time to do something that you always wanted to do. But because the planet that is going to give the result is Saturn, it will need extensive discipline, lot of planning, time management, personality development, leaving behind your comfort zone and be ready to work really hard. It can impact your relationships, so be very careful on that part. There must be some work-life balance that you will have to maintain, and you may have to learn how to change your decision, how to change your approach in order to achieve what Saturn wants you to do. But Saturn's third aspect falls on the 12th house, so it can make you more worried towards your losses, especially financial losses. This is the time when Saturn will remind you about what you can lose. So a negative emotion can clog your mind, can clog your thoughts. So be very careful whenever that happens. Try to address it and try to find a solution. If you sit on the problem for a very long time, then Saturn will make you immobile. Saturn will make you sit and clog your thoughts, and you will simply waste this golden opportunity. Well, this is the time when you can be prepared for the next 2.5 years, from 23 to 25, when Saturn will actually be in the sign of Aquarius for a pretty long time. Taurus is a zodiac sign that is an earth element sign. When Saturn goes in the 10th house, it moves in a air zodiac sign. So element wise, there is no connection, right? But still the connection is formed through karma. It talks that your action should be swift as air, but firm and decisive as earth element. So which means not only you will be quick, but this quickness is not out of haste or hurry or misjudgment, but a planned swift action. It's like one solid blow, one blow of hammer, and the nail is in the right place at the right time. So it is like how you hit, how you tackle the situation. If you are facing any marital issue, you must resolve it with optimism, with one-on-one talking, with maturity, because this transit is going to make you more and more matured. And a special message for people who are Taurus ascendant or Taurus moon sign with Saturn in Aquarius. So either your age is somewhere between 27 or 30, or you are 55, 56 years plus. This is the time when you will be impacted the most on this planet Earth by this Saturn transit, because not only this will be a Saturn transit in the 10th house, it will also be a Saturn return for you. A golden opportunity where you can make your life the way you want. But for all of you, Saturn will give you what you deserve. So this is the time when you prove. You may also see that the results are taking longer than expected when Saturn will be in Aquarius. I will make a video on Saturn transit, Saturn retrograde in Aquarius very soon. But right now for 2.5 months, you might not see things actually moving in spite of all the air of motion, because Saturn wants you to first prove yourself. If you have been doing something from a pretty long time, you will see the output. But this can also mean that Saturn finds you blocked somewhere, and Saturn wants you to take some initiative, some action, and whatever initiative you will take now will result in next year, depending upon your Mahadasha and Antardasha. Overall, this is a very positive and optimistic transit for you, a transit by the help of which you can move the mountains. Gemini ascendant and Gemini moon sign. What a beautiful transit. What a beautiful and much needed freedom, especially for Gemini moon sign. Because if you are a Mithun Rashi, Saturn was in your 8th house, and this was the Ashtam Dhaya or Kantak Shani. Now Saturn is in your 9th house, and this is the Dharma Bhava, the Karma Adhipati, the planet that rules the Karma is now in the house of Dharma, which means it's an amalgamation of Karma and Dharma. Also, you have to observe that especially for you, the 10th house will find Guru, Jupiter. So this is not just another transit of Saturn in Aquarius. This is a transit where Dharma Lord is in Dharma house and Karma Lord is in Karma house, but they individually represent Karma and Dharma. How? 9th house may be the house of Saturn, and Saturn may be in the 9th house, but Saturn is the planet of Karma. Jupiter rules the 10th house, is in the 10th house, but it is actually the planet of Dharma. So this is a fusion of Karma and Dharma, which means this is a transit of duty, this is the transit of Kartavya, Karma and determination. Prana, Pratigya, we call it in Hindi. So the thing is that now, because the Saturn is out of the 8th house and all the sufferings are now going to slowly ease out, this is going to give you what you deserve. So lot of positivity is going to be for the Gemini ascendant natives. Saturn from the 9th house will also aspect the 3rd house. Therefore, it will reform your body language, personality, your speech. And what you should do, you should try to listen to the positive discourses, try to listen to the positive words, try to listen to the divine chant, and try to meditate. You must follow at least one part of your life should be dedicated towards social cause. Why? Because Saturn's 10th aspect will be on the 6th house. Therefore, this will tell you who your enemies are and who are your true, real friends. This also will teach you the importance of competition and healthy competition and how you will have to be successful. People looking for new job, new career opportunities will see a glimpse of hope. A ray of hope will be there for them, and you will see that your career will also move in the positive direction. Saturn from the 9th house will aspect the 11th house. Now, you may say that Rahu is there in the 11th house. Yes, this is the filter of Shani, because Rahu in the sign of Aries can really inflammate your desire. It can tell you that you were suffering from past 2-3 years and now this is the time to spread your wings and break free. But remember, this is a rebellion, and that is exactly what Saturn does not want you to do. Saturn wants you to understand your limitations, respect your limitation, and grow, but grow in a way that is good for you. Because explosion only breaks things, but a gradual expansion is holistic and it is inclusive. Therefore, Saturn's 3rd aspect on the 11th house is a check on your expectation, on your ambitions, on desire, also on your friends' network circle. So if you are, you may see that there can be entry of new friends, new associate, new business partner, but also some of the expectations, some of the aspirations, no matter how much you try, will not become successful. And this is the time when you will have to accept your fate. This is like I am accepting my destiny. But this is good. Not only that, Saturn will be in the Navamsha of Libra, which is actually your 5th house. So this is a transit where you will learn a lot. Try to learn, because this learning will come handy for next 2 years. On 5th of June, Saturn will become retrograde. So this is not the time when you are deciding on something. This is the time when you let things happen. And when things are positive, you try to push it in a way that you are not only learning from that situation of life, but also you are giving your best shot. Don't expect the result. Result will come automatically. Also, be careful how you deal with your marriage, because your dharma also involves your spouse, because that is the area which will support you a lot in this time frame. You will also understand and realize the importance of your friends, of your family. And this is also the time when you have to listen both the good things about you and also criticism, because both are going to be helpful. Saturn's 10th aspect in the 6th house shows that you must respect animals, respect nature, try to help as many people as you can and do your part. Become a participant in the process. You are not supposed to reach anywhere with this. You are just supposed to be on the boat and let God be the driver of the boat. Overall, for Gemini Ascendant and Gemini Moon sign, this Saturn transit is exceptionally beautiful, very positive, but just don't make silly mistakes, because when Saturn will become retrograde, usually the tendency of Saturn is to correct things that you did wrong, and that can backfire. That means you may have to revert back on your decision. Maybe you will have to take back the words, apologize, show respect, show gratitude, and sometimes it can cause severe financial loss. This is the time to understand your potential, and next year you execute it in a way that improves your career and your source of income. Just avoid greed. Keep your paperwork and taxation things up to the mark. Secure your life financially by as many means as possible to you, whatever you know. And if you don't know, try to learn. This is a very positive transit for you. Make the best use of it. Cancer Ascendant and Cancer Moon sign will experience Saturn transit in the 8th house. This is a glimpse of what can happen in the next 2.5 years, starting January 2023. If you are a Cancer Moon sign, that means your moon is in its own house, and therefore moon will find Saturn 8th from itself. And this is called Ashtam Dhaya or Kantakshani, a transit of Saturn that can produce insecurities in life, that would want you to give your efforts, your best efforts, and then wait for the results. For Cancer Ascendant, this can be slightly difficult, especially considering that Saturn aspects 10th, 2nd and 5th house. Because of the Saturn's 3rd aspect on the 10th house, this involves dynamic shift in the way you work, in your work environment, work culture, team that you organize. If you are a businessman, then the investment, the kind of investors you have, the kind of public money that you get, and you might also face restrictions based on taxes, insurances, claims. So therefore, this is a transit that you need to watch out for. Not that the transit is extremely negative. Try to understand that this is going to affect the mind in a very negative way, but really things may not be that negative. So you will have to be very, very clear. Do not judge the situation immediately, rather have patience. Saturn is in a Mool Trikona zodiac sign in the 8th house. Therefore, this can affect your health. So if you are trying to run too fast in your life, or if you are too slow, in both the cases, Saturn may affect your health and may create negative situation that rings the bell in your heart and mind, and it will compel you to take much needed action. So now is not the time to wait and watch. Now is the time to get up and act. This is the time to do karma. Saturn's 7th aspect will fall on your 2nd house. So therefore, health of a family member can be troubling your mind, can be troubling or disturbing you, especially after 5th of June till the time Saturn is in the sign of Aquarius and it reaches Capricorn on 12th of July. When you are doing some investment, do with a lot of caution, because you may have to pull back the money that you have invested, or you may have to take back your words, revert your actions and try to correct your mistake. Be very careful with two things. Number one, what you speak. That should be absolutely positive. That should be constructive and creative. And the second is your food. See, Saturn is going to aspect 2nd and 5th house. This is like it is restricting your mouth and your stomach. This can create digestive issues. This can create issues related to absorbing the facts. People may criticize you. You may have to hear the criticism, and that you may not like. But if you try to understand even the negativity that is being thrown upon you, and if you try to calibrate your life in a way that you become more and more positive, you learn from whatever situation you are in, you build bridges by the stones that are thrown at you, you will see that with hard work and perseverance, you will be able to flourish in life. Because remember, this is Saturn's Moola Trikona, and Moola Trikona means Saturn is following its dharma. And the most important dharma of Shani is to restrict, create discipline, and streamline your life. It's like water being streamlined. It's like a narrow stream of water. Say, in the terms of physics, we say your life is going to achieve what you call as laminar flow. This is a very positive time if you take it positively. This is a very positive time if you don't expect results, rather focus only on action. Especially in the matters of marriage, because 7th Lord is also Saturn, marriage can take a hit in this time, and you might see that you are unable to explain your words, explain your point of view to your spouse, and here the patience and maturity is needed, and sometimes you may have to think from the perspective or from the point of view of the other person. So maybe for once, do not explain but try to understand. Take care of the education of children, and this is not the time for risky investments such as share market, because Saturn will aspect 5th house, being in the 8th house. But if you are going for a long-term planning, long-term investment, property related real estate investment, agricultural land, then this is a good time to do so. But remember, this should be done in thinking 5 years, 10 years down the line. Immediate gains may not be possible. Paperwork and legality should be checked before any step, and try not to go for any verbal commitments, because that may backfire in future and will not be held valid in the court of law. If you are maintaining the discipline, if you're thinking all the pros and cons, then obviously the Saturn transit is not that negative. Do not forget that Jupiter is in the 9th house, which is going to absorb most of the negative impact. That means if you follow the path of dharma, if you are doing the right thing at the right time, maybe that's not what you want, but if you're okay to do so, if you're following your duty, and if you're doing all the right things, checking all the check boxes at the right time, Jupiter is there to protect you. 90% of the negativity that Saturn might create, well, Jupiter is there. And ultimately, Saturn and Jupiter are not going to behave individually. They will behave in tandem. They will behave according to their respective mutual position, which also reminds that this will become a learning. Don't make this learning difficult for you. Be a student, be a listener, and you will see your life flourishing like never before. Leo Ascendant. Saturn will make its move briefly for 2.5 months in your 7th house, and on 5th of June, Saturn will become retrograde at 1 degree 5 minutes in your 7th house. Saturn rules your 6th and 7th, so Saturn rules two very important houses. One related to Prarabdha Karma, the Karma Lord owns the house of your destiny. It's like the king's duty. And the 7th house is the king's responsibility. It's the public, it's something that you observe, that is right in front of you. And when Saturn goes there, it definitely tries to restrict. So be ready for some restriction coming from people around you, from your spouse, from your family members, in fact, circumstance. This restriction is actually good for you. Why? Because Rahu is in the 9th house, and this Rahu is inflammating your desire. It is creating a confusion of dharma, what's right for you and what's wrong for you. It may create a false sense of kingship, a royal behavior that can create negative results, because you might think it is right, but it is actually not right. Rahu is also going to aspect your ascendant. Saturn is also going to aspect your ascendant, and that is where the dilemma will come, because Ketu in the 3rd house. Now you combine all three. The best way to handle the Saturn transit is do not take any immediate action, especially in this couple of months. Once Saturn goes next year in the Aquarius zodiac sign once again in January, then spending 3-4 months, wait, and then you will see that the Saturn and the Rahu and the Jupiter and every other planet will give you positive results. But right now, it is suppressing the fire. It is suppressing the ego. It is a challenge that is being thrown at you. It is the time when your abilities, your capabilities will be questioned. Your way of work will be questioned. And you may have to figure out a new way to be on top of the list, on top of the chart. But that is exactly Saturn wants to read. What is that you do to remain where you are? It is like to sit on the throne. What does a king do? Does he follow dharma? Or does he follow unlawful tactics to maintain his power? And this is the time when you must give up power when asked for, when necessary, and hand over the power to somebody else. You may feel like as if you are giving the control of your life, but no. There is a difference. The difference lies in controlling your own life and power you exert, the power you have on other people. So this kind of thin line must be understood, and that is where Jupiter comes into play in the 8th house. This is the time when you continuously learn. This is the time when you continuously absorb. This is the time of experiencing different obstacles, hurdles in order to grow. This is like a trailer for the next couple of years, and only if you are behaving like an experienced, matured person is when you will see that Saturn transit will actually give you enough amount of material, learning material, which will help you grow and face difficult situation, find solution, and ultimately Saturn is going to give you the result of your own karma, which is going to be positive. The biggest area that will be impacted in this case is marriage and business. Saturn being in the 7th house asks you to fulfill your duty towards your spouse. Maybe whether you like or not, duty is above all. This is also the time when your prarabdha will be fulfilled. That means Saturn is going to watch whether you are neutral or you are taking sides. In case of business, this might restrict partnership, might restrict investments, and might compel you to clear your dues before you make any further advancement. So take that into consideration while expanding your business. From the perspective of health, happiness, this is the time when you will have to work towards it. Your ascendant is experiencing a heavy blast of energy both from Saturn and Rahu. On one hand, Rahu is pushing you to take the negative side. Rahu is pushing you to take a leap of faith. Saturn tells you, wait. You can use both of them. You can use Rahu's energy to come out from a difficult situation in a unique manner, and Saturn's experience, so that whatever unique manner you are selecting doesn't backfire. Use both of these energies because none of them are your enemies. They are individual energy signatures, and it is your duty to understand them and get out of the problem utilizing these two forces. Yes, it will impact your mind if you are a Leo moon. Your mind will always be in dilemma, and you will be in a situation where it may hurt your ego or self-respect. So don't act in a way. Be humble, because the more humble you are, the more grounded you are, is a way where Saturn will love your way of life. Lifestyle should be corrected, otherwise lifestyle related disease will come and hit you hard. Yoga, disciplined life, not eating food in the night if possible for you, trying to be as close to nature as possible, and doing some grounding meditation are ways by which you can make this Saturn transit a highly effective transit. And remember, this may be just a couple of months, but tomorrow, next year, Saturn will be there for 2.5 years. What will you do then? Take this as a trailer. Whatever experience you gather in this time, write it down in a diary. This will come handy for the near future. Now it's the time to think about the next 3 to 5 years. Short-term goals should be kept aside. Focus more towards long-term goals and take a long approach towards life. This is a positive transit, but maybe the suggestions you are getting are against what you have thought, and from a person that you would have thought that he can't give any suggestion. Like for example, your driver, somebody who is not up to your level, your financial or education or mental or understanding knowledge level, is giving you suggestion. It can be the junior most member of your company, also your family. Or it may be a bad experience. Always be receptive to any positive information, because that can change your life. Virgo Ascendant. For Virgo Ascendant and Moon sign, this is a very positive transit of Saturn, because Saturn will move in the 6th house. This is the time when Shani makes you work towards your prarabdha karma and will definitely clear it. It will also restrict any negativity coming from prarabdha. That means it will reduce, because this is like a malefic planet setting in a malefic house, destroys the negativity of that house. This is clearly a time of your life which you were waiting for, and this will help you propel, especially in your career. Your reputation will increase, work environment will become feasible, things will go according to your way, and you will see that enemies are also getting suppressed, negative energies are also getting suppressed. And a special message for Virgo Moon sign. If you're a Virgo Moon sign, definitely this is the time when you will have to accept some of the fate, some of the destiny. It's like you must carry with a weight, but if you agree, you will see that your life will take a new shape. It is a new journey, it is a new dawn. Yes, it is just a trailer. Things will become slightly positive now, and then from next year things will become much better. But this year is very specific, and this small 2.5 month of transit is actually really good for you. The sole reason being Jupiter's presence in the 7th house. Because Jupiter is in the 7th house, it directly aspects your ascendant or your moon sign. So if you try to see Jupiterian flow of energy towards ascendant and Saturnian suppression of negativity in the 6th, in a combination, this becomes excessively positive. But this is also a time when, because things are positive, you may take few steps that is negative. And in the long run, that can hurt you. Reason is, Rahu is in the 8th house. Now you cannot see Saturn's presence in the 6th house without seeing the Rahu's presence in the 8th house. This can create fear, insecurities. Suddenly, if things are going in a positive direction, you might see that you might feel the need of acute investment, and you may end up over-saving, reducing your expenses beyond needed, and therefore living a life at a standard that is lower than what you can live. Be careful on that part. Saturn's 7th aspect will be on the 12th house. So a bit of donation, charity, helping poor people, helping animals, coming close to nature, and especially grounding yourself is going to be extremely good ways to reduce the negativity, increase positivity. Chant Mahamrityunjay mantra and Om Namah Shivaya at least 108 times every day for greater benefits. Also, if you see, Saturn's 10th aspect falls on the 3rd house. So therefore, this is the transit of initiatives. Initiative to reduce the debt, initiative to reduce the clutter, initiative to make things better. Expenses will be obviously on the rise, because whether you pay off the debt, whether you reduce the clutter, or you whether take an initiative, it is going to create monetary loss. Financial loss is the only reason why Rahu can trigger unnecessary investments. Balance this energy. Jupiter is there to balance it. Have patience, and in case of any issue, connect to a learned person like a financial advisor. Issues with marriage should be met with relationship advisors. Don't completely take every single decision by yourself. Try to get opinion. Doesn't matter whether you follow or not, at least that opinion will give you some fresh point of view. This is also the time when your health will really matter a lot. Try to improve good health by walking, brisk walking in the morning, eating less spicy food, sattvic food is going to be very helpful. Just try not to eat food that stays in your gut for a very long time. Eating food that releases energy slowly is actually good for you. lethargy can kick in, procrastination can also come in. But Saturn wants you to beat all this, forget about the hurdles, and just take initiatives to win, because now is the time when you must take action. Now is the time when Saturn will be with Mars on 29th of April in the 6th house, and Mars and Saturn combined can actually destroy the negativity. Chant Vadvanala Stotra every day, and you can also chant Bajrang Baan in case you feel that you are too much surrounded by negative forces. And in order to come out from that negativity, be a seeker of the light. Be the light yourself. The areas that will be mostly impacted with this Saturn transit is marriage and finances, especially if you are under debt. In matters related to property, try not to invest right now, maybe wait for next year. But definitely there can be a move from the position where you are in currently, and this can be slightly restrictive from the perspective of your thoughts. If you are practical, if you are grounded, this transit will be extremely beneficial for you. Libra Ascendant. Saturn makes its move in your 5th house. 5th house is the house of appetite, productivity, expression. 5th house is the house of learning and past life positive karma. So when Saturn goes in this house, this will make you work towards gaining more and more positive karma. And in order to do that, Saturn must streamline your life, must give you that necessary education, and must realign, calibrate your path in the positive direction. And that is like a guru, a guide, a strict teacher who is going to be very strict on you. But if you listen and be a good student of life, then you are going to see some really positive effects of this particular transit. Especially this transit is a trailer for what happens next year. Saturn is going to be with Mars initially, and Saturn's third aspect will be on the Martian zodiac sign of Aries, that too in the 7th house. So the immediate impact will be on marriage, health of children, romance, and you might struggle towards these areas of life, and you might see that you will have to fulfill your duty and responsibility before your wishes gets fulfilled. Life may not be a bed of roses, but hard work should be done to make it like that. Nothing comes easy, and that is what Saturn is going to teach you. And this particular transit, this energy is going to give you ways how can make you things easy. But yes, initial struggle is going to happen. Productivity of your investment, productivity of your marriage, will take a hit. You might question your role, your duty, your responsibility, and your involvement in these areas of life. Especially this can create serious issues with business partners. So be very careful on that part, because the questions will be asked on your role, your involvement, and your overall productivity. Saturn's 7th aspect will fall on the 11th, and 10th aspect will fall on the 2nd house. So this is a transit where financial growth will happen, but to kickstart that financial growth in the long run, obviously, Saturn might create some initial financial disturbance, so that it acts like a wake-up call, so that it draws the attention towards much needed reforms for the growth of your finances. So it can also impact your career. So somebody who is willing to change a career, expecting a promotion, should expect positive things happen during this transit. At least Saturn will make you learn a lot of things. Maybe a certification is necessary. Maybe you will have to accept that things might not happen this year, but at least that information reaches you that next year it's sure. Overall, if you see, the productivity of Saturn will be such that things will be slow. So focus on the long-term goal. Focus on the aim it in a way that you are targeting 2025, 2026, especially when you are dealing with matters that are serious, that needs proper attention. Debt, loans will be a headache in this time. So be very careful on that part and do not overspend on asset creations like buying a home or buying a car. Buying any property, creating asset should not be done by stretching your budget. So because Saturn do not want you to risk your finances, so don't risk by going overboard. Say for example, you can live comfortably in a flat of a certain amount, say X, but you want a flat of X plus delta, and you know you can manage that delta, but because that delta poses a risk, you should not do that. Every single step, especially related to finances, connection with friends, should be done carefully. Try not to hurt somebody's feeling. Be very polite, be very humble in your expression, but this Saturn will also make you direct. You need to be direct, but not in a way that seems to be insulting. You should be direct in a way that is more appropriate, that is more humble, inclusive and grounded. Do not forget that when Saturn enters the Aquarius zodiac sign, this time it will be entering the Libra Navamsha, which is your ascendant. Therefore, it is going to affect your mind and your thought process in a way that you cannot even imagine. Ketu is also there in the first house. What does it mean? It means that you might actually give up on a lot of things about your life. So this is the time to shed off the load, leave responsibilities that you are not supposed to fulfill or carry in the first place. You need to declutter your life, and the transit of Saturn will do exactly the same. It is actually going to save you by being strict. Scorpio ascendant. Saturn will be with Mars on 29th of April in the sign of Aquarius. Saturn will also be in Dhanishta Nakshatra, which is the nakshatra of Mars. And Saturn will have 10th aspect on Scorpio from 4th house. So you can see how Saturn is influencing and controlling Mars. Not only that, Saturn will also have 3rd aspect on Aries, which is also the zodiac sign of Mars. Now when Saturn has so much of control on Mars, definitely your ascendant will feel obstructed, blocked, and this is the time when you will start thinking what really makes you happy. You will work for that. You will work to make yourself more and more comfortable, which is good. There was Ketu's transit on your ascendant for a 1.5 year, and now Ketu is no longer there. Ketu is in the 12th house. But now Rahu, which is in the 6th house, is trying to create unnecessary enemies. And Saturn is the one that brings the people who criticize you, those who are not sweet towards you, but those who tell fact as fact, spade as spade, will help you a lot. And those people will be the real well-wishers, and you must understand the difference between real well-wishers and the people who only create an image of being a well-wisher. That difference may be uncomfortable, but it is necessary. Definitely the theme of this transit will be to make you more and more uncomfortable initially, but over the time, especially next year, this will make you far more relaxed. People who want to shift home, people who want to invest into real estate, people who want to go to a foreign country for education, people who want to start a new trade, these activities will be experiencing good boost by Saturn's transit in this zodiac sign. But I will say, for the next 2.5 months, let the Saturn do what it wants to do. Go with the flow. The reason being that Saturn will not even cross 1 degree, 10 minutes, 2 degrees, not even the first pada of the Aquarius zodiac sign. Rather, it will go retrograde and fall back to Capricorn. Jupiter is positively posited in the 5th house, aspecting the first house, and therefore it is going to give you a lot of learning. So this is more like learn through experience. Learn on the go. And you should only learn and not execute in this time frame, because if you try to execute, you may commit mistakes. 4th house also means that there can be some trouble between family. There can be family feud. asset related disputes. Be careful while driving because that may initiate a legal case in case of an accident. When you're buying a property, do a very solid and thorough paperwork. Protect yourself from all angles because this is the transit where you learn a lot of things about people around you and about you. Overall, this is a transit that needs care, that needs attention, that needs proper understanding and a matured way of handling the situation. Absolutely, this will not be the situation next year because next year Mars may not be with Saturn. But right now, you can imagine Saturn is with Mars, in the nakshatra of Mars, aspecting the zodiac of Mars. And if you are a Scorpio moon sign or a Scorpio ascendant, you are a zodiac sign controlled by Mars. So definitely Saturn creates a force that chokes you, that clogs your thought, that confuses you, that creates a lot of delay. Procrastination will be your biggest enemy in this time. So do not delay a task beyond necessary. It's okay to be watchful, but being over defensive is going to be the drawback of the Saturn transit. You know, there is a saying, Kaal kare so aaj kare so ab, pal mein parlay hoegi, bahuri karega kab. That means, whatever task you have planned to do tomorrow, do it today, and what you have planned to do it today, try to do it now. Because when the time comes, there will be a lot of panic and chaos. Yes, Saturn talks about delay, matured understanding, careful observation. This also means anything where you are running, anything that you are planning to do may meet with hurdles and obstacles. But instead of being frustrated, you must keep working, keep doing things, avoid laziness and procrastination, but still don't expect results. If there is a hurdle, always analyze it because the more you analyze your problems, the better you will be. This is a positive transit. Take it positively. Jupiter is absolutely positively placed in the 5th house, trying to control the water zodiac sign. But you must also listen to Saturn's experience because that is what counts a lot and it can save you from a certain disaster. Sagittarius ascendant. Be a good listener is the message Saturn wants to give you. Be patient is another message Saturn wants to give you. And be humble and grounded in your action and think before you act is also a very important message Saturn wants to give you when it moves in the Aquarius zodiac sign. Saturn rules your 2nd and 3rd house. It rules and defines your expression, your finances, your action, initiation of activity, communication, also your ability to listen. When Jupiter, which is your Lagna Lord, is in the 4th house and trying to give you the best possible advice, total comfort zone, trying to give you what you deserve, trying to give you what you want, Saturn in the 3rd house wants you to take initiatives, which also talks that unless you take initiative, things might not move. So these 2.5 months is the golden period where you can take major initiatives towards life, but long term, because after 5th of June, Saturn will become retrograde. Your initiative may hit your finances, may deplete your funds. So be careful there also. Your initiative should be long term. Think of 4 years, 5 years down the line. Do not take initiatives that can hurt your finances because when Saturn moves in the sign of Capricorn on 12th of July, it is going to be retrograde till the last week of October. Only after November and December is when things will roll back to its normal, but you can use this retrogression in your favor by taking calculated risks. When Saturn goes in the 3rd house, it also talks about being silent. There's a very common quote, work hard in silence, let your success make the noise. That is exactly what you should do if you're a Sagittarius ascendant or moon sign. Saturn aspects your 5th house, which means your ability to express, your ability to talk might also negatively get affected in certain cases, especially when your moon is afflicted in a negative way, because you won't get the platform to express. So in such case, you may need a counselor, a healer to talk. So continue talking. Don't stop the words. Otherwise, Saturn will suppress your ability to express, and that can be a negative thing. If you have a very negative Mercury in your chart, then you will have to talk to a counselor or maybe a psychologist or a very good friend, and don't keep anything in your heart. Saturn will also aspect the 9th house, and your ascendant is the natural 9th house, means your action should be met with dharma. Do everything that you are supposed to do in the way it was supposed to be done. Try to be as careful in your action as possible. There will be mistakes. That's natural. That's human. Let the mistakes happen, but be ready with a backup plan also. Saturn's 10th aspect will be on the 12th house. So therefore, this may initiate displacement. You may move out of your house. You may take initiative to learn and move out of the country. This may also mean that you are taking your business overseas. But this also means that your initiative should be done slowly, one step at a time. This is Saturn on your arms. The arms will become heavy. That means it is full of responsibility. So if this means that you are going to take more responsibility on your shoulder, take only that much responsibility that you can actually carry. Anything extra and you will get tired, and you will drop the load immediately by July or August, which can backfire on your family side. It can backfire your finances. You may fall back on your commitments, and this can create trust issues. This can affect marriage and personal life in a very negative way. So take care, take close watch, have a close watch on these areas of life. Major investments can be made, but investment related to property should be postponed to next year. Unless your Mahadasha and Antardasha is so good that it allows, because Jupiter is in 4th house, you should be very careful, especially if you are into Mars Mahadasha, Mars Antardasha, or if you have Mars on Ascendant. Saturn is definitely going to stop you from doing certain things and will regulate few things. You may take initiative or action that will put you into a situation that is a level down from where you are right now, and maybe that is necessary. So the question that you must ask with yourself is it necessary for me to do this? And if it is necessary, if it is essential, do it. If it is luxury, postpone it. Overall, this is a very positive transit and a glimpse of the future. Plan your future next 3 to 5 years in this time, and you will see some real positive growth in the time forward. Capricorn Ascendant. Saturn will make its move out of your Ascendant on 29th of April for 2.5 months, and on 12th of July, Saturn will come back on Capricorn. This 2.5 month Saturn transit is extremely crucial, especially in terms of finances. Saturn will be in the 2nd house in the Moola Trikona zodiac sign. So this is the time when you should take care of the wealth, the assets, the income, and you should do what you are supposed to do to secure your life financially, to secure your career, and you must take initiatives to secure your life in the long run also, such as buying insurances, watching your expenses and then taking initiatives to reduce that, creating an emergency fund, working harder. How can you improve your income? Thinking on that angle of life. How can you increase your capabilities by learning, by certification? How can you transform your business? Maybe by taking an advice of a learned person, maybe a family member's involvement can help you. All of this should be taken into consideration during this Saturn transit, because Saturn will be in the 2nd house and it will aspect your 4th house with the 3rd aspect. It will aspect your 8th house with the 7th aspect, and it will aspect your 11th house with the 10th aspect. So 2, 4, 8 and 10 the houses that are responsible for wealth management is now under direct impact of Saturn. And the good thing is Saturn is in the Mula Trikona zodiac, and one more thing you must also know, that Saturn rules your ascendant, and if you are a Capricorn moon sign, then Saturn rules your moon sign. So definitely this is all about you, your personal involvement. But this may also mean that you might be personally involved in a battle, or you may be dragged into a fight, in a family tussle related to money, related to inheritance, related to finances, especially between brothers and cousin brothers. So when you have to get involved into financial matters of the family, be as diplomatic as possible, be as humble as possible. Even when you are giving an opinion, it must be holistic and inclusive in nature. You must be as neutral as possible and try to go for risk mitigating factors. Take risk mitigating decisions, initiatives, and try to reduce as much risk as possible in your life, because risk is the biggest risk in your life. Financially, and from the angle of family, you might be slightly restricted. You might feel slightly unhappy. This might also create issues related to your health because of food that you eat. So you might also have to give up on certain type of food that you always want, because maybe there is high cholesterol, maybe there are lifestyle issues, high blood pressure, maybe just your newfound desire to lose weight, to be fit. All of this will include and involve loss of food items. So you must also improve your food habits in a way that you can hire a nutritionist, take up a consultation with a person who is expert in diets, and divide your diet in a way that you're not keeping long gaps between meals. Your focus should be on weight loss and good diet. In case you have any dental issue, then this is the time when you should address it, and there will be some money being invested in that angle if you are in that kind of medical situation. Overall, for Capricorn ascendant, it will be business as usual. It is not that negative, but only when you are aware. So this is like, this 2.5 months will make you aware of different situations about your life and how to improve it, and then it will make you take the initiatives, and then in the long run you will see your life will only improve, because it's the first lord going into the second house, and second house is also Saturn's Mula Trikona zodiac sign. I don't see a lot of negativity here, but I see that precaution is necessary for Capricorn ascendant. Aquarius ascendant. If you are an Aquarius ascendant or moon sign, Saturn will transit your first house, your ascendant, but it won't cross more than 1 degree. Around 1 degree 5 minutes is the time when Saturn becomes retrograde on 5th of June, and it will move back to the 12th house. That means learn from your experience in the past. Learn from the losses. This is a time when Saturn will expand the Aquarius zodiac sign, but only through losses. You must give up something in order to gain something. It is an exchange of energy. It's a transaction that the planet wants you to do. Aquarius is your ascendant. So Saturn rules your ascendant. Definitely when ascendant lord comes in the first house, it's not bad. It's development of personality. It's life becoming more and more matured. It's things becoming more and more positive for you. Add a Jupiter transit in the second house in the sign of Pisces and things become brilliant. But these factors will only come into play on a larger scale next year. This year, it's a glimpse. It's a peak view. It's a new opportunity, a one-shot opportunity, a sudden positive spike in your life. So you should encash it as much as possible. But remember, Rahu is also in the third house, and this may create actions. This may make you feel negative about yourself, and you may take initiatives that you should not do. So in spite of Saturn coming in the first house, therefore giving you a lot of maturity, it will take time for you to understand and comprehend the situation. So you might need some help. So in case of brain fog, in case of thoughts clogging your mind, in case when you are feeling low, talk to somebody, your friend, your relative, your spouse, your parents, anyone. Because when you're talking, when you're expressing yourself, Saturn's third aspect will cut the negativity. And if you don't have anybody, talk to yourself. Stand in front of mirror and start speaking. Start talking to yourself. Am I doing right? Start asking questions. Because Saturn in the first house in Dhanishta Nakshatra wants you to talk to yourself. It is a personality development transit. Any major decision should not be taken in this time because Lagna Lord will move in the 12th house. So it might end up in losses and expenses. So it also means that you will end up spending more than usual, maybe on yourself, maybe on somebody else. So be ready with financial backup. And if you don't have a backup, focus on creating more and more backup and try to cut down on debts as much as possible. Saturn coming in the first house will aspect the 7th house, which is the sign of Leo. Rahu from the 3rd house also aspects the 7th house. So marriage will take the biggest hit in this time. So on one hand, Saturn is giving you lessons to improve. On the other hand, circumstances are going unfavorable. Marriage can take a hit. Marital life can come under problem. So you must be extra cautious. You should take the help of Jupiter in the 2nd house, which means positive thinking, positive words, positive food, and positive lifestyle. That will help you recover from any negative thoughts that Saturn will create, and you will not accept Saturn as a negative force, but you will accept Saturn as a positive force, a force that gives you a lot of courage and happiness. This is the Mula Trikona zodiac of Saturn, which means Saturn is supposed to do what you are supposed to do. So you got to do what you have to do. So you must prioritize your life, segregate your life into compartments, and then find the most priority, the task of highest priority, and focus on that task. Because if you are all over the place, Saturn will not allow you to do so, because Saturn is a restrictive force. Discipline, order, and low risk are the theme of Saturn transit in the sign of Aquarius. For next year, obviously, I will upload another video. But for these 2.5 months, you need to stay low as much as possible and try to learn from your own life, because you are going to experience some real positive transformation. But initially, it may be a bit grinding in nature, especially if you have Aquarius moon sign. Just believe in yourself, have faith in God, and in case of any problem, chant Vishnu Sahasranam. It will help you a lot. Pisces Ascendant and Pisces Moon sign will find this transit of Saturn in Aquarius as a transit that can apply brakes on their thoughts, on their expansion. This transit also begins Pap Kartiri of Pisces. I have made a video on the block on Pisces. The link of that video will be in the description box or in the pinned comment section. Or you can also explore my channel to find that video. It's a must-watch video for you because you are a Pisces Ascendant native. See, when Saturn goes in the 12th house, suddenly your ascendant comes under Pap Kartiri. Yes, Jupiter is there, so 95% of negativity will be absorbed by sheer understanding and wisdom. But Jupiter is a planet who wants to expand. On one side, he finds Saturn. On the other hand, he finds Rahu, which means you finds Saturn and Rahu. But remember, Saturn is a firm wall. Rahu is a fog. It is always good to have a back supported by a firm wall. So even if you fall back, you have somebody behind you to support you. That is the role of Saturn. This is a very different Pap Kartiri. I won't even, technically it's a Pap Kartiri, but I will say Saturn has your back. Which means you should create plan B in these 2.5 months so that plan B becomes much stronger support, a platform that you can rely on, a life that you can fall back to. So it's like a fallback plan that will help you grow next year. Rahu in the second house can create financial insecurities, and Saturn in the 12th house can create more and more expenses. So together they will act in unity for you to work on your debts, finances, disputes, hurdles, health. So it's restrictive for Pisces zodiac sign, but in the long run, this restriction will prove to be a restriction worthy of its presence in your life. Saturn will aspect 2nd, 6th and 9th house. Be careful while you are traveling. Because financial houses are getting impacted, be careful how much money you spend. How are you making money becomes more and more important. A part of your income should be given as a charity. And try to save as much as possible and create a surplus fund, an emergency fund which you can use later on. Always take a decision with plan B, and if you don't have a plan B right now, then if possible, create that plan B and then decide what you got to do after August or September this year. Water zodiacs are the zodiacs that will be impacted negatively. That is why for Cancer, Scorpio and now for Pisces, I have told that there can be slight negativity. The reason being, Saturn is going to create obstruction for Pisces, especially for Pisces moon sign because of Sadesati also and Pap Kartari. And on the other hand, Saturn is aspecting Scorpio zodiac sign, and Saturn is creating Ashtam Dhaiya by being 8th from Cancer. That is why water is getting a very negative impact here. So drink plenty of water, donate water, save water, run campaign for awareness about water conservation. Donate water to needy, give water to birds, and that will help you a lot. Think you are a philosophical zodiac sign. Dhanishta is a nakshatra that defines wealth. Think how can you grow such an enormous amount of wealth as per your potential that you are in a position to give as much as you can. A person earning $1,000 will be totally in position to donate $10. So think, how can you donate $1,000? What should you do about that? That means you need to earn $100,000 so that you are in a position to donate 1,000. Then what should be done? What plans can be taken? Because Rahu in second house, if utilized positively, will create hunger for money. And if this hunger is clubbed with positive wisdom of Jupiter and a wise experience of Saturn, it is the most brilliant time for you. You are in the perfect time where even the negative energies are playing in your favor. But you need to do some research. You need to align things in the right way, in the right direction, and execute the plans without hurry or risk. Then you will reach in long term where you are supposed to reach, where you have targeted. Otherwise, you will end up spending more than what you invest, and you will end up in deficit, in loss, and that is not a good position. Yes, after all, after some time things will become positive, but right now when Saturn is in 12th and Jupiter is on your first house, this time might not come back. Even Rahu after November will be in Bharani Nakshatra. So Kritika's Rahu will also not come back. So it is like you have this one-time opportunity to do something remarkable, especially from the matters of finances. Coming to relations may disappoint you. There can be less support from the family. So you will have to be as inclusive as possible, and you will have to be open. Your conversation should not be ridden with manipulation or cuss words, bad words. You should be as optimistic as possible in your words and read affirmations like Aham Brahmasmi. Talk to yourself and tell yourself your potential, what you can do and how can you expand. Growth is there, but the growth is controlled. When your Jupiter is giving you the wisdom, try to understand the support of Saturn and disperse the fog of Rahu to reach the highest ceiling that you can hit in this lifetime. This knowledge is going to come now. Make the best use of this knowledge.